Hi there, we've got a few more little bits today, plus one mystery item prompted by Ethan, who has just put a video on with a mystery item. I think it's a good idea to put the odd mystery item on. This one I'm purposely making it a little bit more difficult, so you know it's not impossible. And it'll be guessed. Anyway, let's start off with something that's not a mystery item. Years ago, when torches or flashlights were relatively new, the type of bulb they used was one of those. It's half opaline. It's possibly Japanese. They were just stamped with the voltage, and I've got a visitor just come up to see me. He might appear in the shot, I don't know. Anyway, it's a flat torch bulb or flashlight bulb, and it's what was called an S-type lamp. I'm trying to focus the camera so that you can see the filament. I can't, if for some unknown reason, I'm having a job bringing it in. Which is a pity, because it is quite interesting. I'll screw it in and we'll see it working, but I don't think it's going to show the actual shape of the filament. That's it, a light, but when you look at it, I can see it as what it should look like. The filament is in the form of an S, and I'm blooming sure when it comes out on the video it's not going to show it. So I do apologise. I was hoping it would have shown it. Might be a bit clearer there. I'll make it flash on and off because it goes there. Probably just see it. The filament, there we are, you can just see it. The filament is in a shape of an S. Now these were often fitted into the penlight torches. And I apologise for the cat walking across, in other penlight torches. Also in torches that used to have large magnifying glass on the front. They were called bullseye torches. They were flat. They used to take a flat battery, which is still available in France. The battery's always been available in France. I think you can get them here, but they're a little bit unusual. But anyhow, it's just an interesting bulb, which I've got one or two of these. You occasionally see them, but they are a straight filament, not coiled. You can probably just see it. It's in the shape of an S. I'm feeding it with a Gates Energy product Cyclone sealed rechargeable battery. These batteries are very, very useful. For all that size, they're just 2 volt. It's a lead acid type of battery, but very handy. They last for ages. For some unknown reason, that's not making very, very good contact. Anyhow, that was that. That's the S-type lamp. And incidentally, talking about lamps, and I'll show one of these later. I've mislaid it at the moment, so I can't show it to you. It's a normal torch. Well, I say a normal torch, but it's not normal. It is the normal shape, not a flat one like this. A normal shape, but it is completely solid glass. Solid glass, and it lights up. I will show it in another video. Anyway, let's have a look at some other things. What have we got here? I picked these up the other day at the boot sale. Made in England, 5 amp, 250 volt, made by a company called Walsall. I think they're still going, I'm not 100% certain. It's in vitreous china, or porcelain, whatever you like to say. Right, it's easier to take the top off when you're not holding a camera at the same time. It's a switch. Simple, basic tumbler type switch with your 2 contacts and a blade goes in between them to make contact. These used to have a brass cover to them. This one's not a brass one, it's a Bakelite, but it's kind of item that you may come across during the 1930s, 40s, 50s perhaps. Every house would have had one of these. Now they're all flush fitting, but as I say, they turn up from time to time. They're a nice handy switch if you want to use. And the beauty of these is the spacing when they turn off is quite wide, because originally DC was used in lots of places in England, and DC causes arcing. The DC circuit doesn't want to be broken, and when you break the circuit it tends to flash across and cause an arc. With AC you're okay, no problem. So this one is actually marked. It doesn't say AC only, it says nothing. 5 amp, 250 volt. So that one could have taken DC or AC. But you can see there's quite a gap. We're actually not making, there's a large gap which would prevent any arcing. It would spark when it was turned off, but the gap would be far enough away so the arc would break and it wouldn't flash across. Anyhow, that's the little switch, little tumbler switch. Also we've got I might have shown this before, I probably did, I'm not sure. I showed a Presto adapter, which was an adapter from, it had, no I didn't show it I don't think. It had the 2-pin, 5 amp 2-pin, which would convert to a BC base. Well, this is the same type of plug, just as a plug. 5 amp, 250 volt, gold tone. Now gold tone was a name which was sold by the Woolworths stores when Woolworths was the genuine Woolworths, F.W. Woolworths and Company, and that was their brand name, along with the Sunshine lamp. Sunshine and Vesta lamps they would sell. All their items were quite cheap. The reason for the cut in there is so they would make good contact as it went in, and if it didn't make contact you could gently slide a knife down there and open it up a bit. Now, 5 amp 250 volt plug. I can have a look inside, because I know there's a bit of interest about the way we terminate our stuff. Invariably have it's so much easier with both hands. Now, 2 simple terminals. Undo the screw and the wire goes in there and screwed down. The wire goes round that as a grip. That takes the other tension off. If it was a twisted cord, which they invariably were, the cord would untwist, go through the hole in the cover, under those 2 little grooves, and that would act as a flex grip. Now, I was going to put this on as the mystery item, but I thought no, it's a little bit obvious. I found this at the boot sale. We've talked about adapters. This is exactly what this is. This is a 5 amp 2-pin adapter. That would go into your 5 amp socket and allow you to put in your 5 amp plugs round the other one. So from one you'd get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could put 5 plugs all the way around. Now in the days when these were made, safety was not of paramount importance as it is now. So a circuit could have easily been overloaded. You could have blown a fuse or anything, but as I say, in those days they didn't worry. There's the unit. It's not switchable. It's just a simple parallel circuit round to all the outlets, and that's a 5 amp 2-pin. On the continent they used a similar type of plug. They rated it at 6 amps, and it was further, the spacing was slightly wider. I think I've actually got one. And lo and behold, we'll put that one in as well. This is one of the Continental adapters. As you can see, the pin arrangement is slightly different. The pins themselves are slightly thinner. They've still got the little cut mark in them to widen them so they make good contact. But as you can see, the spacing is different. This was to prevent the European plug being put into our plugs and vice versa. Although I will say that the 3 amp 5 amp plug, which has the 3 pin 5 amp plug, which has the earth pin, their spacing is the same spacing as the Continental. So you could in theory stick a Continental plug into the 2 pins of the British 3 pin 5 amp. Anyway, I'm getting tongue tied here. This is also an adapter. It looks like it's made of wood. It may be lignum vitae, I don't know. Lignum vitae is a very, very dense wood used for bearings, for things which have to take a lot of wear and tear. It's a very hard wood. Tree of life it means, lignum vitae. There's the thing then. And they had their way of preventing little fingers going into the holes. The actual contact is further down. Mind you, it wouldn't stop someone sticking a piece of wire in or something like that. But the time this was made, this would have probably been on 120 volts or something like that. But there we are, the Continental adapter. Now, while I was out there, I had to find that little solid bulb. That bulb is actually solid glass. Completely solid. It does work, but at the moment I'm just showing it as an example. Now, if you look very careful, you often wonder, well, how on earth does it work? Well, what it is, the blob of glass is obviously solid, and you couldn't get a filament in there. But right at the bottom, where that little black mark is, it opens up into a very small bulb, and the filament's there. It's right down in the base. Now, this lamp, or this arrangement, I can't show it going because I haven't got the right battery for it. But what they would do, it was a wartime lamp, or not a lamp, a torch. and this spring top would fit on the top of a U2 size battery, which would have been the old zinc carbon type, and as you pressed it down on the spring to make contact, so the little light would light up. It was a wartime lamp. Don't know if it's rare. I've only ever seen 2 of them. One that my grandfather gave me when I was very young. Where that's gone to, I don't know. But this one turned up quite a few years ago at a boot sale, and I grabbed it. The bulb does work, but unfortunately I can't show you it working. I will do one day. Anyhow, that's the wartime lamp. It would fit onto a battery of that size. We call them a U2, but they're called other things. D cell, yeah, it's a D cell. LR20, 1.5 volt. But this one is an alkaline one, not zinc carbon. Right, there's the lamp I'm using. I actually found the maker of this out. There was one of these at the boot sale last Saturday, and on the base it had Eagle lamp made in Canada. So it was a similar lamp, not identical, but more or less the same. The base was the same, but the top was slightly different. Anyhow, we now come to the mystery item. It's going to get guessed. It's going to get guessed. Now, this is all bits of the same thing. I have a jar here, which I only just noticed on the side, and you won't be able to see it. Well, I don't think you'll be able to see it. You may be able to see it. I thought it was just markings in the glass, but it actually says National Telephone. Now, National Telephone was the forerunner of the GPO. It says something under there. I can't make out what that says. It looks like cable. But anyhow, this is all part of the mystery item. Telephones certainly play very important in these. Now, this item here also belongs to it, but it's not the original. This is actually a mock-up of what it would be. Here we have another part of it. The maker looks like it was made in 47. By that time, this particular item, which had been around for a while, it was invented in 1866. And it was invented by a Frenchman. I won't give his name because that would give the whole game away. You're going to guess it. You're going to guess it. The terminal on the top there. And what you would do, that would go inside the jar. This would also go inside. And there would be a liquid inside there. Any idea? Any idea? I think it'll be guessed. I think it'll be guessed. There's already been a few clues. I don't want to make it too easy, but there has been some clues. If you know the name of the gentleman and what would be inside this part, what that is made of. Although this is only a mock-up, it's made of wood at the moment, but it wouldn't have been made of wood. That is a porous container. It's covered in pitch. You've got a centre part there, which it's made of something. Definitely made of something. Anyhow, any ideas? Have a guess. As I say, there's no prizes. It's just a thing for a little bit of interest. And I can give you more information about it when it's guessed. But there's someone out there. There's more than someone out there that will know what it is. Anyhow, thanks again for looking. Any questions, please ask. Except what is it? That's up to you to guess. Anyhow, once again, thanks for watching. Any comments, please make. And thank you again. Thank you.